Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm your host Ramodisa the High King. On today's video, Royal Family, I appreciate you for joining. We would like to discuss more events as they continue to unfold, particularly as they pertain to Is Not Real and the crimes against humanity, because South Africa is coming through with receipts, Royal Family. We're coming through with receipts. Do you understand? These ninjas have been out here committing atrocities for a minute now, supported by the Western powers, yeah? And everyone and their grandmama is fighting tooth and nail to resist the accusations of genocide. But Israel is guilty, and everybody can see it. South Africa is standing on business, Royal Fam.
Government of the Republic of South Africa an opportunity to present its case in real time. We want firstly to thank our excellent legal team for an able presentation at the court. We also want to thank the court for granting the government of the Republic of South Africa an opportunity to present its case in real time. We hope that this decision will also be impactful to the people of Gaza and Palestine in general. Since the advent of our democracy in 1994, South Africa's foreign policy has been based on what our forebears inscribed in the Freedom Charter in 1955, when they declared that South Africa shall be a fully independent state with respect the rights and the sovereignty of all nations. South Africa shall strive to maintain world peace and the settlement of all international disputes by negotiations and not war. Close quote. South Africa has supported various resolutions of the United Nations and other international solutions to support a just and a lasting solution that will bring peace to the Palestinians and Israelis alike. Working together with the international community and in alignment with the relevant UN resolutions and international law, South Africa seeks to ensure a lasting and a durable peace that produces a viable, contiguous Palestinian state, coexisting side by side in peace with Israel, within the 1967 international recognized borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Our president has called for a ceasefire and humanitarian interventions on numerous occasions,
All of which has been facing resistance by Western powers. Have we not seen that, Royal Family? The US vetoing left, right and center, UK abstaining, Germany in full support of Israel because of how they feel in terms of what they've done in the past. They feel like they owe the Israeli population some debt. And so they're all empowering the commission of genocide. They're all not doing anything to stop Is Not Real as it commits these crimes. The US and UK are also being accused of supporting this. We're bringing cases against them too, in case you haven't heard. Everyone who had a hand in this is on notice. And the thing that is important to Africa is that Is Not Real is an agent of destabilization, not just in the Middle East, but across the African continent as well. As our Minister Naledi Pandor has stated in the past, that Is Not Real uses financial might to bend those who can be bent to its will, and therefore the will of the West. So it's not just the West directly, it's also their proxy agents that are bending the weakest among us. So by taking on Is Not Real, we're also taking on the West. We're taking on the US, the UK, anyone who has a hand in this international imperialistic project. We're taking them to court, putting them on notice. We are literally living in a wild time, family. And while a lot of people, myself included, would have thought that it was a symbolic gesture at that time when they first brought this idea of bringing Israel to case up, it's now turning into a whole thing. Everybody is backing South Africa right now. Everybody's hopping on the support train. More countries have joined the case. The legal team came through with a so-called airtight case. Receipts on top of receipts on top of receipts, Royal Family. Statements made by the legal and official representatives of Is Not Real. Footnotes upon footnotes, royal family. We miss nothing. It's a crazy time that we're living in. And the West had many chances to stop Is Not Real, but they didn't. Instead, they fed them more weapons. So of course they too are criminally liable, as we mentioned in previous videos.
Our foreign policy is aimed at improving the well-being, safety and prosperity of all citizens and the achievements of a better Africa and the world. The key pillars of our foreign policy include the promotion of human rights, peace and stability, and the strengthening of trade and investment ties with other countries. The world has watched in horror as Palestinian men, women and children were slaughtered, blown up, buried alive under the rubble of their homes, left to die painful deaths and in unresourced hospitals, resulting in over 23,000 deaths through destruction to homes, schools, hospitals, water, treatment plants and other public infrastructure that impairs the conditions of life and is calculated to bring about the destruction in whole or in part of the Palestinians living in Gaza. South Africa has unequivocally condemned the attack by Hamas on the 7th of October, and it has also done so in its note verbal to the State of Israel, conveying its condemnation of that action of Hamas on the 7th of October. And South Africa has reiterated here in court that those atrocities are no justification for any form of genocide. With the recent escalation of the aggression of Israel in Gaza, South Africa has supported a number of UN resolutions calling for immediate ceasefire and the provision of humanitarian aid to the people of Palestine.
As I've said before, family, these are all the things that the US and the West in general have vetoed and interrupted and stopped from happening. They want to pretend that they care about the people of Gaza, but in reality, they want to support Israel. They want to let Israel do what Israel wants. And as it's coming out, more and more people are realizing that Is Not Real controls too much. Business, politics, media, you name it. They're everywhere. And as you can imagine, people who are at the mercy of those institutions have a hard time speaking up against these atrocities should they want to keep putting food on the table. Because Is Not Real has demonstrated the ability to get rid of people and prevent them from working in the future should they be critical of Is Not Real. So you're not even allowed to criticize Is Not Real. A made up state by America is not allowed to be criticized. It's crazy.
The world has not succeeded in stopping the genocide that is currently unfolding in Gaza. The international community has largely remained passive in response to these atrocities. Women and children in areas such as refugee camps, schools and hospitals have been targeted, leading to a humanitarian crisis. We also unequivocally call the United Nations Secretary General invoked a rarely used article of the UN Charter, Article 99. The Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the 6th of December 2023 called on the Security Council to press to avert a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza and unite in a call for a full humanitarian ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian militants. This plea of Ubuntu, a plea for humanity of the international community to prevail, was simply ignored. Israel's institutional impunity was reinforced. In keeping with our obligation as a state party to the Genocide Convention, our government has approached the International Court of Justice to prevent the unfolding genocide in Gaza. We have also asked for provisional measures which include an immediate suspension of Israel's military operations in and against Gaza. The commitment to justice and bring an end to the humanitarian atrocities in Palestine resonate deeply with the collective consciousness of the global community. The scale of these actions is reminiscent of the Rwandan genocide 30 years ago,
which the French are known to have had a hand in it. Family, the West is everywhere with these atrocities. Do you understand? It will support them every way, every how, if it serves them, their ultimate goal and their agendas. Control of those countries' resources and none of the local peoples available to resist. If they can be removed some way, somehow. That's the West for you.
here on behalf of South Africa and the global community to seek justice for the victims, particularly children, women, and the elderly. We believe that without the intervention of this court, of the international community, we will see the total destruction of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Remaining silence in the efficacy of this and in and of itself will be a gross violation of international law. As a state party to the Genocide Convention, we have a duty to prevent genocide. We are seeking the court to intervene and stop the ongoing massacre in Gaza. Today, it is common cause that the Rwandan genocide could have been prevented. Former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan expressed this regret when he said, and I quote, "The international community failed Rwanda, and that must leave us always with a sense of bitter regret and abiding sorrow." Close quote. Rwanda stands out as a stern and severe rebuke to all of us for having failed, for the international community having failed to prevent it from happening. Let us not have it live with the same regret when it comes to Palestine. This case presents the court with an opportunity to act in real time to prevent genocide from continuing in Gaza by issuing an urgent injunction. South Africa is multifaceted, multicultural, and a multiracial country that embraces the concept of Ubuntu as a way of defining who we are and how we relate to others. Ubuntu means I am because you are. I am becomes Hamza Abdullah is. You are because Dunaab Mozen is. The philosophy of Ubuntu means humanity and is reflected in the idea that we affirm our humanity when we affirm the humanity of others. It has played a major role in the forging of South African national consciousness and in the process of its democratic transformation and nation building. Our history is one of repression and violence, human rights abuses, apartheid as a crime against humanity, discrimination and distrust between people born on the same soil. This history enjoins us to stand in principle in solidarity with the people of Palestine, as of our founding father would have wanted us to do, Nelson Mandela. Because our history...
Naturally, family, you can imagine that a lot of people are panicking about this. Germans are coming out saying, oh, by the way, not just the Germans, everybody's coming out with the same statement, because Is Not Real apparently panicked after this case was brought to book for real. They sent out statements and requests to all the representatives to basically go around the world saying the same thing. That South Africa's claims are baseless and without merit and blah blah blah. So all the supporters are out there saying the exact same thing. Family, it's wild out here. And aside from those who are panicking, It's Not Real has also been plotting on the resettlement of the Palestinians in Congo, believe it or not. We've covered topics on Congo as well, and we will continue to cover them on future videos. But let me introduce you to this concept if you happen to have missed it. That might be copywritten, but It's Not Real in discussion with Congo to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. Imagine, family. Wild. But if you are South African and you don't appreciate what this means, let me also introduce you to another clip that will enlighten thee.
To the South Africans who are not understanding what's going on, I'm not sure. I think maybe some of you are young, maybe some of you are in your 20s, but I don't know, okay? The reason it is important to support South Africa against, what's going on in this court case is because that blue and white country has its hand in all countries. We are all in situations in our own countries and we don't think about it because we don't see it. They're in it. The reason they need to be called out and they need justice is for that to have a trickling effect afterwards, right? Because when we ungrip the hand that they have on all of us, right? It's not just the blue and white people, we have the red, white, and blue people too. When that happens, it will encourage other countries. Do you understand? Now that affects economy. Now that affects trade, because now, if we can remove them in these spaces that they're so clenched in, now South Africa could trade with South America. Now we don't have to rely on just one country. We don't have to just rely. We can have options and be competitive and be able to trade ourselves. There's a reason why this is important. It's beyond just freeing the green, white, black, red people.
Mm-hmm.
So please, please get with the program. And if you don't understand it, then we ask you to please just sit back and relax, okay? Because even if we don't win, this is a step, a global step, to have all these other countries to understand that, hey, we can do this and we can get support, because the end goal is to loosen the grip that they have in all our economies so that we can have free trade and choose who we want to do business with. That's really how deep this is.
This video got hundreds of thousands of views, 20K likes. Powerful clip. And to go into further detail about what she means, family, have a look at this.
What he means. The woman responsible for recommending international financial policy is Jewish. The man responsible for administering immigration law is Jewish. The man that represents America in legal matters is Jewish. 98% of the people in power positions in America is Jewish. So then they do things like this. The Anti-BDS Act, which is a law in America that states you cannot boycott against Israel. Now, is this America or is this Israel's playground? I'm gonna read to you what Israelis think about America and Americans. You know very well, and the stupid Americans know equally well, that we control their government, irrespective of who sits in the White House. You see, I know it and you know it, that no American president can be in a position to challenge us, even if we do the unthinkable. What can they do to us? We control Congress, we control the media, we control showbiz, and we control everything in America. In America, you can criticize God, but you cannot criticize Israel.
Suspicious, do you not think? And any attempts to call them out, they call you what? Anti-Semite. Family, as I've said before, it's not anti-Semitism, it is the truth. Israel is committing atrocities and innocent people are losing their lives by the thousands. 22K have been confirmed to have lost their lives and 9,000 plus more missing. Buried under rubble, presumed dead. That is what's been stated about the situation, family. But that's that for now. As we follow more of the story, the legal proceedings against it is not real, and the West in general, because they're all being indicted if you think about it. And yes, South Africa has stated that we too will bring legal proceedings against US officials, the Biden administration, and the UK is running around like headless chickens because they know they too are criminally liable in this offense. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments below. If you appreciate the vibe, smash that subscribe, let the algorithm know it's good, a thumbs up, royal family, and like for the machine, the share for the masses, and other like-minded souls know that we're out here. I'm your host Ramudi, said the High King. We'll be keeping an eye on this. Stay royal, stay blessed, stay knowledgeable. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.